Can you tell us anything whatsoever?
Come on, I know you just give us. One more stage.
Welcome back to the Two Dudes Talk Music YouTube channel. I am the Reverend Raph, joined here by my good friend Kyle, aka the Beer Buddy, and we are once again joined by John, Josh, and Husey from LØNER. And it is time for the quick question quarter, spelt with Q's, not K's, because we don't roll like that. Now, the whole point here is we're just going to ask them a bunch of questions, some rapid-fire questions to get to know them better, get into their musical mental minds, and just understand what makes them tick. So we can do this going around in a circle, gentlemen. I don't care who wants to start, but we'll start with the first question, which is, what was the first instrument that you learned to play? And yes, vocals does count.
For me, it was actually drums, and then it was bass, then it was guitar.
Nice. Who's next?
For me, it was actually piano.
Hell yeah. Man after my own heart.
Oh, didn't really touch off then.
I used to do vocal lessons when I was a young kid, but in terms of physical instruments, it was actually guitar, and I've still got my first guitar here 20 years later.
Nice.
Good on you.
What is it? What was the first guitar that you got?
Oh, just a Squire Strat, man. Just a $400 piece of shit in the combo. Yeah.
No, I'm always curious.
I just gave mine away.
Yeah.
What was the first album that you purchased?
Ooh,
That'd be good.
first album I purchased, I'll probably say it was a Black Album.
Classic.
Solid.
Johnny?
For me, it was No Effects, Franco on American. That was my very first one.
Ooh,
That's a first.
Yeah, I don't think we've had No Effects as a first album yet. So
My cousin, he played drums for like a punk band back in school, but he was actually the reason I got into playing in the first place, because he was just doing drums in this punk band at school, and I was only like 10 years old at the time, and they came to my pop's farm, because I'm from rural New South Wales, and they had just jammed out there at his farm one day, and I just hung out with them for one day when they were just like practicing, and I just thought it was the fucking coolest thing ever, just playing all these really cool tunes with just bandmates and all that, just hanging out, and it's just like everything that I wanted in a nutshell. So I remember just like being like into sort of No Effects and stuff like that at a young age. But yeah, that was my first album. And I remember my parents fucking going off when I bought it.
That means you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But your cousin, he stopped playing drums and then gave you his kit, didn't he?
Yeah. My first kit was actually his old zombie kit. It was just bits and pieces of all of these other kits.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Frankenstein.
But yeah, that was where I started anyways.
Awesome.
That's
Josh.
solid.
The first album I ever actually bought with my own money was actually Curtain Call by Eminem.
Love it.
Solid.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's solid. And I think it's first.
Yeah. I think I was about 14 or something. I had to get my older brother to buy it for me.
Funny story. Do you guys remember when Murder Dolls released Valley of the Murder Dolls? The album, because a lot of albums back then, they had like the mature language sticker on it. The Valley of the Murder Dolls album had an R18 sticker on it.
Wow.
Did you guys ever see that?
I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, look, I mean, I wasn't 18 and I bought it. The guy at the store was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like this. But yeah, I remember it had an R18 sticker on it, and I'm like, at the time I was like, oh my God, like I've got so many albums that have got, that have got swearing and mature language, but like this one's R18, like.
Yeah. That's the next one. That is pretty next
fuck
level.
as a bonus track.
And then I love to say fuck.
I love to say fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first live concert that you attended?
Oh, damn. Like, a big concert would have been, I think, 2010. It was like Metallica and Fear Factory, and I think Baroness.
Ooh, okay.
But that was my first big one, but my first actual thing I ever went to was just like a local show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mad.
But fuck if I can remember who was on it.
You can go first, Josh. I'm really struggling.
Yeah, no, that's easy. I've got my first big one was actually AC/DC when they were here in 2010 or 2009. It might have been.
Oh wow! Because I was on was that at the stadium at Olympic Park? There, that was
That would have been that would have been
yeah.
stiff up. That would have been the stiff upper lip tour.
Black Ice, wasn't it?
Black Ice, I think. Yeah,
I was at that one too.
okay.
I was at that
Yep.
one too, man. I was down. I actually had a spot on the floor near the runway that came out to the
mad.
the thing. That was
Because
pretty
you had like
crazy.
the 4 quadrants on the ground, and I was in like the front of the back ones. So that
Nice.
was,
Yeah.
pretty
That was
cool.
that was a crazy setup. Like, I mean, even these days, I'm sure they're like getting a little bit past it. But even 2008 or 2009, whatever it was that was hectic. Like, they were still putting on a crazy show then, and the sets were amazing, and yeah, they were still schooling people.
Absolutely. And Angus still doing his thing at fucking 65 or whatever. Like, that's
Freak.
insane. Yeah.
He's got the same blood transfusion as Keith Richards gets.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Malcolm Young, one of the tightest rhythm guitarists of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Absolutely.
Unreal.
Like, when I first started, it was like Malcolm Young and James Hetfield, just the tightness of their playing was just like, fuck, I want to do that.
That's the thing, man. You can have a great lead guitarist, but if you ain't got a good rhythm section to follow that thing, the shit falls apart very quickly.
Yeah. And even like a guy like, might be maybe definitely underappreciated is Bonehead from Oasis.
Yep.
There's a few videos running down the way he does chords, and he incorporates open strings and gets that big wall of sound thing, and he has his Marshall stack and stuff. And like, when it comes to terms of rhythm and locking in, like, Oasis don't sound like Oasis without Bonehead playing the way he plays.
That's it. You get some crucial stuff going on there. John, come on. What have you?
I was there, but I wasn't there.
Okay.
This one, it's 28 Days actually came out and played a show in Gunnedah a long time ago. And they actually blocked off like a street. They set up the stage like in the middle of the street, like just one off the main street. And they were playing, and I was playing in the park next to it.
Hey, we'll count it. We'll count it.
We'll count it.
Very nice.
You could see it.
I
So
know who they were. But I just went, there's a whole bunch of people there, and they're playing a show. Then,
You were just ripping it up in the park.
I was just in the park.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right. What's an instrument that you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
Either piano or violin.
Good choices.
Solid. Very good.
Probably learn to sing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to learn how to sing.
Very cool.
Might have to be drums. I can't keep a beat to save my life. So
Not a good quality in a bass player, mate. Like, we need to keep. You need. We need.
that's why I went to guitar.
It's all right, Josh. I'll let you on it, but even in between tracks.
Yeah, I'll tell you something though. The only problem with singing is it's great to be able to do, but you hate the sound of your own voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kanye West.
Valid point.
All right. So, if you could pick one big band or artist for Loner to open a show for, now this is basically anyone, living or dead, active or not, whatever period in their career. You're bending the laws of space time here. Who would your dream support slot be, like, to open for?
Either Slipknot or Crowbar.
Very
Nice. I
strong
like
choices.
that. Nice.
Or down.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Slipknot, Crowbar, or down. I'd take any of them.
cool.
I'd probably say Kublai Khan. But
Kublai would be
they're
nice.
listening. We're here.
I hope they're watching.
I mean, and if you are watching, please reach out. We'd love to have you on the podcast.
I actually just seen Throne recently.
Good band.
When they were here with Alpha Wolf, and a show with them would go incredibly fucking hard, to be honest. They're crazy.
Amazing. Awesome. Right, time to dive into your Spotify playlists, because I need you to tell us.
I reckon these guys are going to answer quick.
Yeah, this would be
I'm
good.
gonna go
So,
gut feeling.
who is a band or artist that you're listening to at the moment that you think is underrated and deserves more attention?
Bjork. No, seriously. Army of
dude.
Me is a fucking banger. And
Yeah.
all the industrial stuff she was doing in the 90s is incredibly underrated.
That's it. I mean, pioneering is to say it was pioneering is like not giving it enough credit.
No, but it was
definitely.
another one of those ones that was music for musicians.
Yes, like
Yep,
a lot of it
definitely.
is, a lot of it's only appreciated by people that really understand the nuances of what's going
and
on.
like if you know what the Locrian mode is, Army of Me is one of the only songs that it gets even remotely close to using that mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe it's like a specific key or scale.
Yeah.
And then the very last note drops to like a flat fifth or like a minor fifth or something.
Yeah.
And because it sounds off, because it doesn't flow, a lot of people don't use that. And I believe it's one of, if not one of the only songs that gets even remotely close to sounding that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched a video about that. It was like, the least commonly used scales or something. And that's the one that I think was the song that was referenced for it. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's one band that's always got a spot in my playlist, and it's Cog. Like, those guys are grossly
Brilliant band.
Man,
but how good they are. Yeah.
I die on this hill. Australian prog kicks the shit out of any other prog.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're a perfect blend of just hard and soft. Then they have something for everybody. And like I've seen them 3 times now, and I love
one band I haven't had an opportunity to see.
This is just a space where you can just forget about the bullshit that's going on in your life for just a little bit. Just
and the great thing,
you're just having fun.
The great thing is, if you want to mosh, you can mosh. If you want to sit there and just be a drunk swaying idiot, you can sit there and be a drunk swaying idiot. If you just want to sit in the corner and trip balls, you can trip balls. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, there's something for everybody there, and for me, they're the perfect blend of just hard and soft.
Yeah.
Man, imagine like if we got to play a show with like opening for Cog. It was like us, and then like the Butterfly Effect, and then Cog. That'd be sick.
Could happen.
Cog, if you're listening, reach out.
I don't really have a band, but a vocalist that I think is very underrated is actually Miles Kennedy. I don't think he gets anywhere near the credit he deserves. For someone who's got such a huge vocal range that he does.
I mean, look, in a lot of ways, kind of, you could compare his vocal range to someone like Chris Cornell that we were talking about on the podcast earlier.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And not just because I constantly confuse Alter Bridge and Audio Slave, but I always have to go, wait, get the right fucking name, dickhead.
You just got to think of Creed to make it a bit easier.
Yeah. But that's it. Well, look, they're both, bands that they transplanted a different singer and they completely changed their name. They start with A. They got Alter Bridge, Audio Slave, various, in my head, the 2 names get confused all the time. I'm like, I know which one I meant. But yeah, I mean, look, his work is wild. I mean, and obviously, like being a wrestling fan, like I really kind of got into Alter Bridge through, Edge. using Metalingus as the theme song, and I'm like, that's just something about that song just captured me. And
speaking of Edge,
his vocal range is wild and definitely, something that. I think a lot of people would have a lot of love for it. They just maybe don't know specifically that's
limited edition ringside exclusive Edge heads.
Very, very nice.
It's got Matt Cardona and Brian Myers heads back when they were the Edge heads.
Yes.
And it's in a display case, and it was a ringside exclusive in
very nice.
2021.
Wow.
You know what?
So this is sick.
Sidetrack a little bit. You're going to be really, really jealous when I tell you this. I was devastated when Edge retired. And I'm like, fuck, I'm never going to get to see him wrestle in person. Like, I think I got to see him on one of the Australian tours, but I'd always wanted to see Edge at like a pay-per-view or something like that. When he retired, I'm like, it's never going to happen there. And he came back, and I actually was at WrestleMania 39. So not only did I get to see him wrestle, I got to see Edge wrestle in a Hell in a Cell match, which is something that was just like unreal. It was a dream come true for me on that. So yeah,
that's so sick.
Yeah. But get back to the.
He didn't break his leg in that one.
No, he didn't. But Finn Balor did get his head gashed open and had to get like 10 staples or something in it, and then continued the match, which just proves how hard Irish people are. All right, what is something people may be surprised to learn about you?
Probably that I'm as big a music fan as I am. I think being around local music and live music and knowing all the people that I do, And obviously being very young, like obviously, you know, when you're 20, you behave like a fucking dickhead. So I think a lot of people think that I have like delusions of grandeur, that I'm going to be some rock star, that I'm up myself and all this stuff. And, you know, there probably was a time when I was younger where I was like that. But at the end of the day, and I've said it before in an interview, like at the end of the day, I'm just a music fan. I'm just an instrument fan, you know, and I'm a fan first and a musician second.
Yep.
That's a really good way of putting it. That is a really good way, because that's how we all started out.
Exactly.
We never started off as music. Like, no one ever starts off as a musician.
Yeah, you always start out as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm stealing that.
Hell yeah.
Like I'm actually pretty shy just in public, so like don't mistake me for like if you do come and see a show and then I'm just sort of sitting on my own and all that. It's not because I don't want to be there. It's because I'm just a bit nervous and shy to sort of talk to people. So if you want to come talk, you might have to make the first move. Just putting it out there.
That's good.
I feel you on that.
I'm a massive World of Warcraft gamer.
Wow.
Bro, we're 2 for 2 on this one, man. Like wrestling, we got the wrestling guy here, and we got the Warcraft guy here, man. Like
we've had to not do Prax because he was raiding.
Yeah, literally. I don't anymore as much as I used to, but I used to play in like some of the biggest guilds on the Oceanic sort of region.
Nice.
And I've had plenty of top 10 world rankings and stuff like that. Yeah,
awesome, bro.
Got right into it for a while.
That's cool, man. Are you playing The War Within? You enjoying that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm loving delves. I've tried getting into regular raiding with a guild, and eventually it just feels like a chore. So I don't really go in for that, but I've been really enjoying delves, and you know I've been getting surprisingly well with them, just running them solo, which is great. And I know that like playing an MMORPG solo is like kind of antithetical to the whole thing, but I'm so deeply invested in the lore of World of Warcraft now that I can't just go to another MMO. Like I have to,
absolutely not.
It's crazy.
I tried to play Final Fantasy and couldn't get into it.
I've tried it. Same with like ESO. There was like was it Wildstar, that kind of space cartoony one that came out a while ago? I've tried a bunch of different ones, and I just like I know World of Warcraft's comfortable. You know, I know the lore, I know the story, I know the gameplay. I've been in it for so long now. It's just it's a comfort game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
I just got Diablo 4 and Tekken 8 on PS5.
Oh, yes. I've been right into Diablo 4. Like big Diablo fan as well. Like huge.
Hell
I was obsessed with Diablo 1 and 2 when I was back in school, and so it's
what
crazy.
started it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Righto. Now, gentlemen, you will have heard me over the course of our chats today introducing myself as the Reverend Raph, and that is for a good reason, because I am, in fact, an ordained minister. Now, with that in mind, we come to our last question of the Quick Question Quarter, and it is also confession time. I would like for you gentlemen to confess to me your worst music sin. And you can interpret that question however you would like.
You know when he said that question, an answer flew into your head.
Yeah,
and you know an answer flew into your head. All of you do. You interpret that question any way you like, but that first answer that came into your head, we'd like that, please.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Look, I'm completely self-taught. I know absolutely fucking nothing about musical theory. So I am very much a learn by watching or learn by tab player. Mm-hmm. If you throw chords at me, I'm lost.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. You make do the way you do.
Probably my biggest sin was not keeping up with all of my theory that I knew from years of playing piano before I started playing drum. Because my mum, she's very musically involved. She ran the Gunnedah Music Centre for a long time when I was growing up. So there was a lot of musicians that she knew sort of coming to do with Stedfords and then like concerts and all that. And she really, really wanted me just to learn piano, and I did it for about 5 years. But I just kept looking at like a guitar or a drum set going, I want to play something cool. I
want to play metal. I can't do metal on a piano. Like, what do you...
Yeah. So I had all of this like theory, in my head before, and it's all just gone now. When I
Oh,
started playing drums and stuff, just doing stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So,
No, look,
I
that's
wish
fair
I could
enough.
get all that back.
Look, I like piano was my first instrument as well, and to this day, I cannot, like, if you ask me to find a note on the guitar or the bass, unless it's the open, and even then, sometimes if we're not in standard tuning, if it's not, if you know, even if it's the open note, I have to picture a piano roll in my head. I have to find the note on that, then I have to translate that in my head to where it's positioned on the thing.
It's 100% a blueprint for a lot of instruments. If you learn piano, then it's a lot easier to learn something else.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it's. I genuinely think like it is probably the best instrument to learn.
Absolutely.
To expand your understanding of music, because you are playing the rhythm and the melody, you are playing the bass, and like you're playing the thing and the accompaniment and the chords, and it grants you a very all-round understanding of music that a lot of other instruments don't.
Looking back now, Mum was definitely trying to steer me in the right direction, but I was just being a little shit. So
yeah, rebellious kid, mate. That's how it goes.
No, that's fair enough. And Husey.
Mine would, and I haven't done this in Loner, so I'm past it now, but I would be playing entire sets without tuning once.
Ooh.
So not even checking my tuning, just unpacking and just grip it and rip it.
Bro.
I've done it in punk bands, I've done it in my old metal bands, because it was either it's not really either, I was just being fucking lazy.
I tell you now, you and I would have got into arguments.
Noticeably being definitely, and if I was in the position I'm in now and someone was doing it to me now, I would be the same. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But back then it was just, I was either lazy or I was pissed off or I was drunk or whatever. And so I'm talking being out of tune noticeably and just not giving a fuck, like unpacking, plugging in, and then just playing the set without tuning.
But I tuned it at home. All right. Well, there we go. That is the quick question quarter. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It has been a pleasure talking to you today and all this week. There's plenty of videos. We're going to have lots of links down in there so you can check out everything that these guys are doing and you can keep up with it. If you've had a good time with us today, please consider liking and subscribing. We very much appreciate that. But look, even if you didn't, we hope you had a good time watching the video, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Stay cool, everybody. Look out for each other. Catch you later.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.